Here we begin the chapter on probability. Now read the question. A coin is tossed 1000 times with the following frequencies: head 455 and tail 545. Compute the probability of each event. Now when we see the coin, here's a picture of a coin. It has got two sides. One is the head side here. This is called the head. And the other side is the tail side. Now this coin is tossed 1000 times. So the total time for which, or the total trials in this case, total trials equal to 1000. It has been tossed 1000 times. And when it tossed 1000 times, 455 times came the head. The head came 455 times. And the tail is given there 545 times. So let's write number of heads. Number of time that the heads came was 455. And number of times that the tail came was 545. So if I want to find the probability of each event, what are the two events possible? Either head comes or the tail comes. Now I want to find the probability of the event of getting a tail. You could just pause the video and look at the statements for the probability of getting a tail. And the total is 1000. So the probability of getting a tail would be 545 over 1000. However, the probability of getting a head would be, now head comes how many times? 455 times. Have you seen? It's 455 times. So the probability will be 455 over 1000. That would be the probability of getting a head. That is number of head over total times. And that is 455 is that's the amount of time we get the head over 1000. And that is probability of getting the head is 0.455. Two coins are tossed simultaneously 500 times. Get two coins. Remember, there's one and two. So there's not just one coin. There is one coin with its head and its tail underneath there. And then we have another coin. We put another color, maybe another coin here, which is also tossed. Both are tossed together. There is a head and behind it there is a tail. Here also behind it there is a tail. So two coins are tossed simultaneously 500 times. And two heads we get 105 times, one head 275, and no head 120. We need to find the probability of each event. So we have three events. One event is of two heads. That's the first one. So we need to find the probability of that. The second event is of one head. We'll put number here. And the third event is of no heads. We need to find the probability in each case. So let us start with two heads. Now for two heads, to find the probability for two heads, what are the number of favorable outcomes? How many times did two heads come? 105 times. So favorable outcomes was 105 times. And the total outcomes was 500. Total outcomes 500. So the probability of getting one head, or no, probability of getting two heads, we are doing two heads here, will be favorable outcome over total outcome. And that is 105 is a favorable outcome over 500 is the total outcome. And when you make it in decimals, it's 0.21. Now this I'm going to do it directly to find the probability of getting one head. So how many one heads are obtained? 275. So it will be 275 divided by total outcomes is 500. So over 500. And that answer is 0.55. Last is the probability of getting no heads. Now how many times we get no heads? 120 times. So 120, total outcome 500. So that is a probability of getting no heads as 0.24. A dice is thrown 1000 times with the frequencies of outcomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 given below. Find the probability of getting one outcome. So you know a dice is a cube, and in the dice it's got 6 faces. On face 1 is written number 1, then on face 2 there are 2 dots, then there is 3, and there is 4, and there is 5, and there are 6. So if you throw a dice, either you will get a 1, or you will get a 2, or you'll get a 3, or you'll get a 4, or you'll get a 5, or you'll get a 6. So here they have thrown the dice not just once, they have thrown it 1000 times. And when they throw it 1000 times, the number 1 came 179 times. The number 2 came 150 times. The number 3 came 157 times. The number 4 came 149 times. The number 5 came 175 times. And the number 6 came 190 times. And we need to find the probability of each. Let us start first to find the probability of the first event. The probability of the event 1. So the probability of event 1 is of 1. How many times has 1 come? 179. What was the total times it was thrown? 1000. The probability of 1 is 179 over 1000. That is 0.179. Now let's go to find the second event. The probability of the second event. That is how many times 2 came. The number 2 came on the dice. And you have seen it is 150 times. Out of how many times? 1000. 1000 is a total thrown. So 0.150. And this last 0 has got no value. You can also write it as 0.15. Now let's go to find the probability of getting number 3. And then we'll call it event 3. So the probability of getting event 3, that is number 3 coming on the dice. How many times has it come? 157. So 157 total times 1000. So that is 0.17. Now we'll go on to see the probability of the next, and that is probability of event 4. So the probability of event 4 could be, how many times has 4 come? 149 times. 149 total was 1000. So that is a probability of event 4, 149. Let's get on to the probability of the next one, that is 5. We'll call it event 5. So probability of event 5 will be 175 here. That's how many times it has come? Over 1000. So that is 0.175. And the last is the probability of 6. The sixth event. How many times did that happen? For 6, 190. So it's 190 over 1000. 0.190. This has got no value. A 0 after a decimal has got no value. It's the same as 0.19.